Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. Hey, I'm going to tell you a story today. I think this story has a good premise. I believe there's a business idea you may find within this story, sort of a little secret that you could take forth in some way. Check this out. This is a really great story. I wanted to share it with you today. I think today is a fantastic day to do it. It's my daughter's 12th birthday. And you know what she asked me to not do? Exactly what I'm going to do. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Audrey. Happy birthday to you. I love you with all my heart. You mean so much to me. I love who you're becoming as a young woman. You make me very, very, very proud. Let's jump into the story here. Frank's Diner was once an energized, thriving business, a favorite spot for locals and tourists alike in the scenic New England town of York Beach, Maine. But when the economy hit a brick wall, Frank found it more and more difficult to hold on to his trademark, cheerful smile. One day, Frank caught a glimpse in the mirror of the diner wall of a grumpy, scowling old man with frown lines embedded deeply in the corners of his mouth. He didn't recognize the man himself. Looking around his desolate diner, he knew that it wasn't just the economy that had driven his customers away. It was his pessimistic attitude toward life. Frank was seeing himself in the mirror. He had tried to remain optimistic, but it seemed like the hits just kept coming. Like a nor'easter pummeling the coastline, he often wondered what there was to look forward to each day. His eyes met with a booth in the back corner of the diner where a frail elderly woman ate breakfast with a college-age girl. Miss Sheridan and her caregiver, Michelle, had been coming in for breakfast every day for a couple of years. Frank would nod and force his face to smile when they walked through the door each day. They were his best customers, after all. Miss Sheridan would conclude each meal by scribbling something onto a diner napkin and placing the napkin in her purse with a content smile. Now, on one sunny fall day, even though the New England leaves painted a breathtaking landscape outside the diner windows, Frank was oblivious to the beauty that surrounded him. He was currently crouched under the counter, grumbling about how the dishwashers were always leaving spots on the coffee mugs. A feeble voice above interrupted his rant. "Frank, I wonder if I could have a word with you." Now, Frank nearly smashed his head on the edge of the cash register as he jumped up to his feet, looking at Miss Sheridan in surprise. Michelle held on to the old woman tight, obviously propping her up. All Frank could do was nod agreeably. "I want to thank you about these." She lifted her trembling arm, pointing toward the frown lines on Frank's face. He opened his mouth to say something, to explain, to defend himself, but realized that he had nothing to say. So Miss Sheridan continued, "Young man, I learned a long time ago that life doesn't always go your way. Believe me, I have 90-plus years of my fair share of heartbreaks and challenges that I could easily carry around with me as baggage. Instead, I choose to carry these with me." She reached into her purse and took out a stack of napkins Frank had watched her scribble on every day. She had written things like autumn leaves, Michelle's kindness, seashells from the beach, the beautiful sunrise today, another delicious breakfast at Frank's Diner. "Frank, I would like to challenge you to do the same. To stop carrying around your struggles and start carrying an attitude of gratitude instead." Now, after Miss Sheridan further described this daily homework assignment, Frank didn't have the heart to refuse her request. At first, he did it to appease her. As she watched from the booth each day, Frank would dutifully take a napkin from the dispenser on the counter, scribble something he was grateful for on it, and put it in his pocket. The process was mechanical in the beginning, mindless instead of mindful, but each time Miss Sheridan smiled over at him, wordlessly encouraging him to continue. Now, Frank barely noticed when things began to change, when the words of gratitude he jotted down on the napkin each morning began to sink into his thick, stubborn skull. But the attitude of gratitude he had inadvertently adopted through the sheer routine of it began to truly mean something. That was when Frank's life began to change. A little over a month into his daily gratitude homework, Frank once again caught a glimpse of himself in the diner mirror. The reflection in the mirror was of a glowing, joyful man whom he hadn't seen for years. The man looked forward to each new day with hope and enthusiasm. Now see, still smiling almost uncontrollably at the realization of how much life had changed, Frank surveyed his now bustling business. Locals, staff, and tourists alike were cheerfully enjoying the revitalized space, and even though Frank hadn't made any physical renovations, the diner somehow looked brighter to him. His eyes automatically drifted to the corner to share a moment with Miss Sheridan, but for the first time in a few days the booth was empty, and Frank's heart sank. A couple of days later, Michelle arrived and placed a box on the counter in front of Frank with a solemn smile, tears glistening in the young woman's eyes. Oh, man. Miss Sheridan would want you to have these. And looking at the floor so she couldn't see his own tearful eyes, Frank simply nodded his appreciation. He felt an overwhelming wave of gratitude wash over him that such a special lady had come into his life. And exactly when he needed her most. How many times does that happen where somebody comes into your life, right? So, okay. Oh boy, it's touching because I know it works. You do gratitude, it works. It really does. So, by the time the springtime leaves were blooming, Frank's Diner was more popular than ever in York Beach. There was one new feature in particular that was a huge customer draw. When a diner patron reached for a napkin from the dispenser, they also received a message of gratitude printed on it. Each message was a word from Miss Sheridan's collection, along with a few from Frank's. And beneath each message was a question. What are you grateful for today? With a blank line underneath. And Frank would watch from the counter as customers of all ages from all walks of life would eagerly scribble their answers on the napkins, and almost always with a smile. It's weird because this is such a happy story. I know I'm crying, but it really touches me. Miss Sheridan's unwavering attitude of gratitude, it seemed, had transformed not only Frank's life, but the lives of those around him as well. I want to tell you why this touches me, because it's a true story. And it's a beautiful representation of what taking on a daily gratitude habit can actually do for us. It has a way of transforming the world into a positive place for negative people. It can change things for you. I love sharing everything I share with you every day, and I share it because there's value. These are things you can do that'll really change your life. It'll really make things better for you. You can do it. You will do it. And if you do it, I'm telling you, everything can turn around. You can take steps every day to adopt an attitude of gratitude in your life. You just need to make the choice to focus not on your burdens, but focus on your blessings. It's so easy to feel shortchanged when we focus on lack. But when we practice gratitude as a daily habit, Life has a way of transforming positively around us. Whether you use something as simple as a napkin or maybe you use a journal. I have a journal right here. When you write down the things you're grateful for each day, you begin to change your view of the world around you. And a lot of people will say, consciousness is only our view of the world around us. And this is a simple way. When you go out for lunch on a daily basis, pull out a napkin, write something on that napkin every single day you're grateful for. Put it in your pocket, put it in your purse. What do you do at the end of the day? When you come home at the end of the day, usually you take whatever's in your pockets and put it out on the dresser or on the table so you can sort through the good and the bad and get things in order, right? What if every day when you reached into your pocket at the end of the day, you pulled out a napkin of gratitude or a piece of paper that had something you were grateful for that day? That's a great way to end your day with gratitude, but also it's a great way to remind yourself of the wonderful things you have in your life, the things around you that you need to be paying attention to, because although we're striving for greatness, we're walking down this path together, trying to move towards building goals and then achieving them. You know what? A lot of what you've already achieved in your life is still worthy of your recognition. It's still worthy of your appreciation. Remember, you need to appreciate the things you have in your life today. It makes the accomplishments of tomorrow more meaningful. It's more impactful. I apologize for getting emotional, but that actually is a true story. It is something that is being done still today. It changed this man's life. It changed his business. There's nothing I want more in this world than to enact the same kind of changes for you as well. I want to see you do better. I want to see you have a great life. And I'm going to come back tomorrow and every day after and continue to share this type of motivation with you so you can exalt yourself and put yourself into a position of accomplishment. A position where you can have the things you want in your life, because those are the things that if anybody deserves, you do. Friends, I'll be back tomorrow with some more great stuff. I really, truly do hope you have a beautiful day today, because I care about you, and I want to see you be the best you that you can be. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care, friends. Bye.